odds, the Kangaroos are in the 8 and headed for the finals. Tonight they take on Sydney, hoping for a different result than when they last met in round 3.
Garrett Griswold from 35 metres.
He comes in deliberately, drop punt for goal. He's kicked it. The Swans have won. What a game of football. The Swans have won by 3 points.
It's round 19 action from the SCG, the Kangaroos versus Sydney.
And here is the Sydney lineup, and Paul Williams coming off his best and fairest win last year, again has been a star for Sydney.
Yeah, he has. He's just continued on, KB, and unfortunately some of our younger players haven't progressed as much as what we would have liked, and it's those senior players that have really started to step up and carry the burden.
Kangaroos lineup also is important because they've had a number of young players doing particularly well this year.
They have. They've been the players that have actually helped them sort of win those tight matches, perhaps that we thought they wouldn't win, but they've actually been very, very impressive, the younger players.
Round 18 last year, Sydney beat the Kangaroos by 107 points, and Dennis Pagan said it was one of the darkest days in the history of the Kangaroos. Makepeace inside the centre square, trying to burrow his way out of trouble. Saddington was there, Kelly on hands and knees, Crouch enjoying a stellar season as well, again inside 50. Here's Seymour out in front, usually known as a backman, now playing up forward. Ball rocketed back by Stevens, taken by Kelly, goes short. Goods is the danger man, runs inside 50. Adam Goods takes him on, backs himself, gets good support, kicks the ball across the face of goal, bad bounce. Chance now for the Swans. Goods feeds the ball off. Stevens, quick snap. It's missed.
Adam Goods just showing what he's capable of there. A very exciting player, keeping the ball inside the boundary line. A little bit unlucky not to register a goal.
Makepeace goes short, finds Grant. He hasn't enjoyed a great season. He's been a wonderful player for the Kangaroos, but has been below his best. Rawlings pumps the ball long and deep. He was looking for a rocker. Porter stood his ground in front. Swans work hard across half-back. Kelly with a couple of early touches to Saddington. The run will come from Matthews, and they open up. They find a loose player wide. Stevens has been very handy in this first term. Goes short and finds Bolton, who hits the ball very, very hard. He's outside of 50, too far out to score, goes short. Finds Fosdyke, fearless, rockets the ball back. Take 2, Bolton. Seymour, off hands, punched through by Porter.
Thought Nick Fosdyke might have just taken his time there and gone back and had a shot, but obviously thought he was a bit outside of his range there.
Kangaroos by 4 points. Makepeace to King, who's been an inspiring player for the Kangaroos in the second half of the season. From the back pocket, kicks long, very economical side and playing in front. Good grab again, taken by Stevens. So the young man from Perth putting his mark on this game early. Seymour again the target, he's outnumbered. Good play by Bolton. Makepeace and King will combine across half-back and just belts the ball back towards the edge of the centre square. Now, it was great play by Ty Kennelly, but taken by Digby Morrell. So advantage was played. Morrell kicks long, looking for the bounce. Through for a behind. He's been a real surprise packet, Digby Morrell.
He has, KB, and there's quite a few, we mentioned it earlier on, there's quite a few of the younger players that have really taken the pressure off some of the more senior players within the Kangaroo ranks.
Leo Barry was expected to miss most of the season with a bad injury, but he's back. Just caught in 2 minds. Kangaroos manning up. Saddington's the target. Got Colbert to beat, hands and knees. Good support by Rawlings. Burton kicks a high ball back to the half-forward line. Petrie, did he get a shove out? Mark's been paid to Barry. Just a wry smile and a wry look from Petrie. Fosdyke from half-back to the half-forward line. Again, Seymour's been the target. He's got Archer to beat. Pounced on by Kelly, outside of 50. Centering kick, dangerous kick for the Kangaroos. Bolton wants a free kick and he's got it. Being held, and umpire Darren Goldspink picked it up.
I thought he could have been a little bit unlucky there, KB. David King. Jude Bolton did extremely well just to work himself into the front position. Yeah, a little bit of tit for tat, but I guess that's how the umpire saw it.
Jude Bolton. He's kicked 7 goals for the season. From 20 metres out, straight through the centre.
A couple of key matchups worth watching. Darren Creswell, as I stated, on Anthony Stevens. Brady Rawlings is tagging Paul Kelly. Paul Kelly's picked up a couple of early possessions, so a good start for him. Andrew Schauble on Anthony Severio Rocker, and Ben Matthews on Shannon Grant.
And that young man on screen, Scott Stevens, being picked up by the mighty man himself, Mighty Mick. 1-2-8 Sydney, 1-1-7 the Kangaroos. Sydney coming off a good effort last week against Port Adelaide, going down by 18 points, one of the top teams in the competition. And of course, the Kangaroos surprised the Cats last week. Inside 50, Kelly. What an inspiration he's been for the Swans. Goes short. On every occasion, there really is got a bounce through by Adam Goods, through for a behind. I've been surprised, but Seymour's really made his name as a defender. Every time they've gone forward, they've looked for him.
He has, and I think the reason why Brad Seymour's at full forward is to make someone provide a contest against Glenn Archer.
Well, they're kicking the ball to him at every opportunity. Teague, one of the most improved players in the competition, goes short. Poor kick, and marked by Kelly. Porter is off, and Lee Harding is on, who kicked 6 goals last week, as Goods goes inside 50. This time King, with good body work, takes the grab. Strong back line. King, McMartin, what a grab too, over the top, Saddington. He's really found his niche playing at centre-half back.
Yeah, and I think Paul Roos has definitely encouraged Jason Saddington to go through everything and just get back to enjoying his football.
Well, some slack checking. Goods from outside 50, centering kick. Teague playing in front, gets shoved out by Stevens, but the mark has been paid.
And a terrific kick by Adam Goods. Could have blazed away from about 55 metres out, but actually held the kick back just a fraction. Scotty Stevens, good use of the body. I'd like to think KB, without putting the moz on him, he'll go back and put this straight through the middle.
Well, this has been a very good start by Sydney, and that young man on screen has been very, very dangerous. Stevens has kicked 11 goals for the season. He's kicked his first tonight.
Adam Goods is providing a bit of a handful, proving to be a bit of a handful for Spider Burton. Adam Goods is probably one of the top 3 aerobically fitter guys at the club, and I would certainly say Dennis Pagan would be a little bit concerned with Spider not being able to stay up with Adam Goods.
Well, you mentioned Adam Goods, who's already had 6 possessions, and there he is on screen, being picked up by McMartin. Good start by the Swans, 2-3-15. They lead by 8 points, 1-1-7. Burton pinched this time by Creswell. And again, Stevens out in front of Martin. Got a bad bounce. Never gets his ambitions and capabilities confused. Mighty Mick, as he just pumps the ball back. He's looking for Creswell. That'll be a great duel. Creswell and Stevens. Trying to crash his way through that time is Saddington in front of Simpson, and we've got a toss back in.
I'd imagine there'd be a fair bit being said between both of those players.
Darren Creswell kicking that goal after the siren. Round 4 this year. The Swans pinching that game by 3 points. From behind was Bennett. Barry has been very handy across half back. They run to space, taken away by Fosdyke. Edge of the centre square, caught in 2 minds. Wants to go short, wants to set it up, wants to be the playmaker, and finds Matthews. A much underrated player. Famous early in the season for not giving up the number 4 jumper to Tony Lockett. And he finds Nix, who wasn't in the side, but he's coming to replace Michael O'Loughlin.
And what's happening, KB, is the Kangaroos are actually pushing quite a few numbers down into their back line. They've got some specific players running with the direct opponent, but it's actually leaving the Sydney Swans players further up the ground with plenty of room, plenty of space. and beautiful delivery to Matthew Nicks.
I was surprised he was out of the side because Hall's suspended with 43 goals, their leading goal kicker. Matthew Nicks is their next best with 25, yet he got axed.
Yeah, he'd be the first to admit he's been struggling, but this will do his confidence the world of good, and a great start for Matty Nicks.
He's a dead-eye dick.
Yeah, Matty Nicks is he's just really been struggling, having a lot of trouble finding the ball, and I guess, sometimes you need a little bit of luck come your way. Was dropped early in the week with Michael O'Loughlin's late omission. Has found himself an opportunity again, and let's hope that Matty Nicks actually goes on to have a reasonably good game.
And here's another who really started in defence but finally found his niche playing on the forward line. Some worrying signs for the Kangaroos early in this first quarter as we approach 11-minute mark. 3-3-21, they trail by 14 points, 1-1-7. And the Swans finding space. And their targets, Harding has come off the interchange bench. All tied up by Matthews. I dare say they started in there. He kicked 6 goals last week just so he wouldn't be targeted at the opening bounce.
Yeah, it's probably a fair call, KB. But, you'd also like to think that perhaps he's on fire. So if he's not getting much of the ball down in the forward line, put him up the ground a bit more.
Well, he has been threatening to kick a bag of goals. He did it last week in the big game against the Cats. Makepeace. He's been strong in defence this year. Kicks long, big pack of players. Taken away by Motlop to Grant. A goal kicker. Quick snap. Off target. Great through for a behind.
Great contest from Benny Robbins there. One of the smaller guys in the Kangaroos forward line, but made the effort, brought the ball down in front of the front and square players for the Kangaroos. Shannon Grant a little bit unlucky not to make a better finish of it.
Well, he's been a handy pickup, Ben Robbins, hasn't he, from Brisbane?
Yes, he's one of those players that certainly gives you 110%.
Williams brings the ball back into play. Big pack of players who was looking for Dunkley. It's all tied up. Good strong tackle by Shawble. So it's a ball up on the front edge of the centre square. Harding on screen. He's very quick. Confidence is high. Good. Got his hands on the ball. Pinched by Grant. Just wobbles the ball back and taken by Leo Barry. This is possession number 5. He could be run down by Byron Pickett. Good enough to get the ball away. Williams will take him on. He's had a fantastic season. Edge of the centre square. Penetrating kick. Danger again here for the Kangaroos. Teague crunched to the ground that time by Creswell. Mark taken by Stevens. To Archer. 2 old heads combined. Archer from half-back. Beautiful kick. Finds Rocker. He's between half-back and centre wing. Kelly, magnificent on the mark. Sets it up. Bang! Down goes Stevens. Crunched. Mighty Mick comes away. Bounce number 3. Just weighing up the options. King says kick it long. So's Grant. Playing in front was Digby Morrell, and he's got it. He's a strong mark, puts himself in front, and a much improved player.
And as we see, Scotty Stevens just rubbing off the effects of a very, very hard Glenn Archer attack on the ball. Scotty Stevens might just want to pay a kind word to Paul Kelly and say a little bit lower with the handball, Cal.
There was a great interception by Kelly, but the handball was a hot one. Digby Morrell, young man from Perth, off the rookie list, and has really made his mark for the Kangaroos. Kicks a goal. And a much needed one for the Kangaroos.
Yeah, it just goes back to that unfortunate handball from Paul Kelly to Scotty Stevens. And it just goes to show that, the flow of the game could turn quite quickly. Rebound football and a great finish from Digby Morrell. Just shows the importance of playing in front.
Well, he's kicked 2 goals. And I suppose with Wayne Carey being out of the side, he was one of the key forwards that they were hoping were going to step up. And he's also a very, very good kick. So he's booted 17 goals for the season. Swans by 7 points. 3-3-21 plays 2-2-14. That's Goods eyeing off Burton. So important to win the ball out of the centre at the SCG. Barry having an absolute picnic across half-back, finds Bolton, who started virtually at full forward, now working his way up the ground. Matthews inside 50. Kelly's going to be the target. Martin over the top. Pickett. A lot of controversy during the week for crunching Milburn of the Geelong Football Club. He's out of action for the rest of the season. He does hit hard, inside 50. On the stretch, Rocker, not paid, crashing his way through his Fosdyke. Runs into a roadblock in the shape of Petrie. Saddington, quick hands, finds Bennett. Across half-back, the Swans can set it up wide. Beautiful kick. And finds Stevens. He's recovered.
He's really making Michael Martin work overtime by pushing up and across the ground. So Mickey Martin, he's getting a little bit on in his years, but he'll certainly have to tighten up a little bit on Scotty Stevens. 5
possessions and 3 marks for Stevens. Williams was a poor handball. Fosdyke, bad tackle on King, who bounces off him and pumps the ball back, looking for Grant. Needs a kind bounce, gets it, takes him on. Round the corner, straight across the face of goal, and through for a behind.
Yes, when you get the opportunity to tackle, as Nick Fosdyke did, it's better to put the head down, wrap the arms around it, and make sure that they earn their kick and they don't get the ball away quickly. Poor option to bump, and a little bit lucky not to get penalised by the Kangaroos kicking a goal.
Approaching the 16-minute mark of this first term. Williams designated kick-up, looking for Nix. Barry starring across half-back. Shares the ball with Nix, who rockets the ball to McPherson. The run comes from Fosdyke. The Swans moving the ball quickly in their forward line. Here, Seymour couldn't take it. Simpson caught. Kicked off the ground by Seymour. This can go close. Finally run through by Sinclair.
Just running the lines quite well, the Sydney Swans players. The Kangaroo players seem to be a little bit stationary, focusing on just their individual player and allowing the Swans just to run through the lines and provide many options up the ground.
So 2 tough nuts. Glenn Archer playing on Brad Seymour.
Yes, it's an encounter worth paying and coming along and having a look at it.
This young man, David Teague, is a very brave player, and he's just really starting to make his mark across half-back. Taken by Nix. Again, the Swans pump the ball deep inside 50, and there's Teague running with hard eyes. Takes the grab. Just over 8 minutes left in this first quarter. King on centre wing. Goods runs hard to fill up a space in defence. King takes him on. Loves the run with the ball. Petrie's going to be the target. Got him in his sights. Rocker across the front of the pack, taken by Robbins, bundled over that time. Solid bump taken by Bennett. Again, a look-away handball by Leo Barry. To Dunkley, didn't really hit a target. Williams is quick. Runs away from Makepeace, finds Nix in front. Great play by the Swans, quick movement of the ball. Kelly's the target up forward, couldn't take a one-hander. Seymour, beaten this time, taken away by Burton. Clean hands to Simpson, who bangs the ball back. Wonderful vision, and finds Pickett. Some rebound football, and Rocker is marked on 50. Tiffany Cherry.
Yes, I've just noticed the doctor ran out to Anthony Stevens just then and came back looking quite sort of erratic, and they've just taken Stevens off. Stuart Cochrane's come on. It looked like Stevens may have hurt his arm. He's just being assessed by the doctor now. I'll keep you up to date.
Some concern there for Anthony Stevens. Severio Rocker. See Stevens on the bench there. Young Motlop. Rocker from right on 50 is a big kick. He's a very big kick. He's banged it through.
There's not many players that can go back consistently and have a set shot for 50-55 metres and then kick it 10 yards past the goal square. KB, it's phenomenal. Actually a delight to watch Big Sav Rocker kick from that sort of distance.
And that was a wonderful kick also from Byron Pickett. Severio Rocker has been very good this year up forward. He's booted 42 goals for the season coming to this game, and he's got his first of the night. Boundary throw in on centre wing. 3-4-22 the Swans, the Roos 3-3-21, and we've got 5 minutes left in this first quarter. McPherson, a shake of the head. Sinclair, a young man in a hurry, runs to 50. Closes to 45. That's some kick. I think he's kicked a goal. He has.
Great result from Jess Sinclair. Ran through the line, started at the wing over on the outside, outer member side, and backed himself in, which you do like to see in today's football. Had plenty of space in front of him. Could have done, I guess, the team-orientated thing, KB, and centre the ball, but if you're playing well, back yourself in, and why not with a finish like that, Jess Sinclair?
Well, we saw McPherson put the ball over the line. It was deemed to be deliberate, and that is a wonderful kick by a very talented young player. Swans in front by 5 points, 4-3-27 to 3-4-22. So after a slow start, the Kangaroos have hit back. 2 goals to Digby Morrell, 1 to Severio Rocker, and 1 also to Jess Sinclair. Goal kickers for Sydney: Stevens, Nix and Bolton. Simpson. He's won so much of the ball this year. In the back from Matthews. Good strong grab taken by Bennett. It was a hot handball. Under pressure is Dunkley to Bennett, so it was take 2. A little bit sloppy. The run comes from Creswell, tries to set up. Good strong play, thumped back that time by Simpson. And Bolton is bundled over the line. Handball coming that time from Lee Brockman. Young man who started his career with the Cats and played 2 games, now taking a turn in the ruck. Number 26 for Sydney. Against Big Spider. Grant playing against his old club, relishing this first quarter. Kelly has to slap the ball out. Crouch is caught by Cochrane. It's all tied up on centre wing. Well, Paul Kelly's had 10 possessions in this first quarter.
Seems to lift when he plays Kangaroos.
Well, there was talk today that he'll go on again next year, Paul Kelly. Think he'll be captain next year, Wayne?
Oh, look, I think if Paul Kelly decides to go on, there's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't ask him to be captain again. And look, he's certainly playing as though he's enjoying it, and the body seems to be holding up, which is the most important thing for someone of Paul's age.
Swans lost Michael O'Loughlin before the start of the game, and Matthew Nix took his spot, and Matthew Nix has kicked a goal in this first term as the ball again is just forced over the line. In fact, inside the line, says Darren Goldspink, as Big Spider takes a rest. Brockman and Porter lock horns and take it over. Jude Bolton also being attended to on the boundary. One of the Swans goal kickers in this first quarter. Porter still really making his way with the Kangaroos. Hasn't enjoyed a good season since coming across from Carlton as Rawlings. Tumbles the ball back. Archer hits the ball hard. Grant taken over the line. Strong tackle that time by Creswell. Jude Bolton off on the blood rule. Strong tackle. Might be a bit of feeling still with Shannon Grant leaving the Swans. All those years ago. Cochrane, desperate young man, trying to find a permanent spot in this Kangaroos lineup. Has forced the ball up.
Glenn Archer looks as though he's been pushed into the forward line for the Kangaroos. Either looks as though he's actually tagging Jason Saddington. There's one. Tagging the centre half back.
And we just saw John Blakey. 354 games sitting on the bench. Teague goes forward, and a great diving mark taken by Shawball.
They've missed him over the last few weeks, Andrew Shawball, so they'll be very pleased to have him back in the side.
Under 2 minutes left in this first quarter. He's looking for Kelly. He has killed the Kangaroos in this first term. 11 possessions, great kick, and finds Williams. This to put Sydney in front. Well, we know it was an absolute thriller in round 4. Scores were level at half-time. Then the Kangaroos got away. Of course, it's history now. How Shannon Motlop gave away that free kick, and Darren Creswell kicked the goal after the siren so they could win by 3 points. This is shaping up as a thriller as well. Williams, 45 metres out, a 45-degree angle. Hammers it home. Swans in front.
Well, Paul Kelly, mentioned it a couple of times already in the first quarter, but he is having an absolute ball out there. Just works Stewie Cochrane, his direct opponent, under the ball. Paul Williams started behind. Matty Nix actually did the right thing here, holding his opponent out. Paul Williams coming in, third man in. Marked strongly, and a great finish.
What a pick-up he's been, Paul Williams. One of the best and fairest last year. In fact, Collingwood's been very good to Sydney Swans.
They have been with Andrew Shawbull. It's quite a good arrangement. They seem to be enjoying their football.
Seemed his career was stalling with Collingwood, Paul Williams, but he would certainly be in the mix for All-Australian selection. He's enjoyed a top season. Ball thumped away that time by Porter. The Swans by a point. Matthews, he'll be happy to take the ball over for a boundary throw-in. He's a much underrated player, Matthews.
Yeah, Benny's been a little bit quiet, a bit up and down throughout the course of the year, but again, another player like a Jared Crouch carries his instructions out to the nth degree, and a very honest and reliable player.
Brady Rawlings has got the job playing on Creswell. Porter backs himself. Morrell was the target. Saddington just weaves his way out of trouble to McPherson, who just hammers the ball wide. O'Keefe in front of Teague, can't trap it. And of course Matthews also picking up Simpson. Ty Kennelly on the interchange bench along with Kirk, Jude Bolton, also Seymour. And Lee Harding also leaving the field. And John Blakey comes on. So a youngster replaced by a veteran. 354 games. What a great career it's been for John Blakey.
Oh, look, what can you say about the elder statesman, or one of the elder statesmen? Just a huge effort to play as many games as what he's done. It's good to see him back into the senior side again.
And he's come onto the forward line. And we see there with the ball going over the line, Williams there, along with Robbins. Kelly. 12 possessions in his first term. And Williams. The dynamic duo causing all sorts of problems for the Kangaroos. Time clock ticking away. Danger here for the Kangaroos. O'Keefe over the top. Big grab. And he's got it. Well, they like kicking goals after the siren here at the Sydney Cricket Ground. And Ryan O'Keefe has a chance. Is he a good kick?
He's a left footer. He'll put it straight through the middle, KB.
Well, we'll test you here, Wayne. You're spot on. Straight through the centre. Great end to this first quarter. Ryan O'Keefe, a big grab and a goal. And at quarter time, they lead by 7 points. 5-4-34. The Roos 4-3-27. Start of this second term. North Melbourne don't find the Sydney Cricket Ground a very much happy hunting ground.
No, over recent years they certainly haven't, but I'm sure they'd be doing their darndest tonight to turn that around.
You saw a big Spider Burton on the boundary line as Archer comes away with the ball back towards centre half forward, and Petrie out in front. One of the young guns. Rocco's on a lead, got him in his sights. Got it. Took it on the stretch. Dunkley's upset, but he had good purchase on the ball. Like all consummate backmen, Andrew Dunkley, unhappy if a forward takes a grab.
Well, you know you've played against Andrew Dunkley. You certainly earn your free kicks and all relevant possessions, but it just goes back to Drew Petrie being in front of his opponent and the value of a quick kick out of the centre square.
Well, the distance won't be away to Severio Rocker. He's gone back off the long run. He's gone inside the centre square. He's only kicking really from 35 metres out. Kicked a great goal in the first quarter from outside of 50. There you can see the long shot as Rocker leans back, unloads, gives it both barrels and kicks a goal.
Just the start the Kangaroos were after. Glenn Archer, quick kick out of the centre. Drew Petrie in front, got the ball on quickly. Severio Rocker, nice clean grab and a good kick for goal.
We've seen a lot of players go to the Kangaroos from other clubs and always enjoy success. Dennis Pagan has got the best out of them.
Oh, without a doubt, and I guess that's what makes Dennis Pagan one of the elite coaches currently going in the AFL.
Well, he's been a good pickup, Severio Rocker. 44 goals for the season, and that brings the Kangaroos within a point. Cochrane from half back to the half forward line. Pickett takes it on the second grab. Now it opens up. Archer ran hard. It was a poor kick taken by Saddington. Swans have the numbers. Have to move the ball quickly into their forward line. They'll set it up. Somehow Fosdyke has been a loose man on centre wing a number of times in the game so far. Finds Williams, edge of the centre square, centering kick. Kelly from behind, he's got it. Touched. Strength, Kelly breaks clear. Can't set it up, he's looking for Fosdyke. Great tackle on Simpson, loose ball. King had it and lost it. Simpson, second effort. That's why he's such a good player. Needing a good bounce was Rocker. Maybe should have taken the ball, put Blakey under a lot of pressure. That was a high looping handball. Porter goes to the ground, got to keep your feet. Creswell works hard, pinched by Rawlings, who's got the job of picking up Creswell since Stevens left the field. Cochrane replaced Stevens, goes short. Good vision and finds Blakey. Probably hasn't kicked too many goals in recent years.
No, or more to the point recently, but good to see both sides just very willing and putting their bodies on the line. A few mistakes being made, put that down purely and simply to the pressure that both sides are applying.
Well, he hasn't kicked a goal this season. He's only playing his 9th game, but he has kicked 107 in his 354 game career. So the veteran, John Blakey, from right on 50. Can he turn back the clock? He can.
And great to see, and another senior elder statesman player that it just shows how important players such as Johnny Blakey's, your Archers and your Glenn Stevens and Mickey Martins are to sides like North Melbourne, the Kangaroos. He kicked the goal and about 10 players converged on him. Words of encouragement. Well done, Johnny Blakey.
Well, John Blakey has always been a big kick and slots through his first goal of the night. Kangaroos by 5 points. That man has just kicked his first goal, and there's a good sign for the Kangaroos. Anthony Stevens back onto the ground. Not quite certain what happened to that right shoulder, but they took him from the field and took him down the race. And it's taken half of this second turn to get him back into the action. Rawlings, great interception by Fixter. Worked hard. Hence set it up to Creswell. The kick's a poor one, just floats the ball forward. Seymour got a kind bounce. They'll run hard. Nix come into the side, replace O'Loughlin. Trapped by Robbins, had it and lost it. Beats Ty Canali. Seymour goes hard at the ball again. Good second effort by Canali to McPherson. They backtrack, conceded ground. Swans now inside 50. The big fist came from Teague. They need a crummer. Robbins had it and lost it. King under pressure, belts the ball towards the boundary line. Good defensive play.
Quite a few players slipping over. It doesn't give the impression that it's Dewey out there, but I'd like to imagine the coaches might give the directive at half-time players change their current style of shoes.
Just under 14 minutes left in this second quarter. Goods beaten this time by Porter. He'd be keen to impress. Stevens straight away back into the action. He was looking for morale. Rocker. Two key forwards combined. Forced outside of 50. Penetrating kick getting back is Shawble. And should take the grab and does. Let's find out from Tiffany Cherry whether there is a lot of dew on the ground, because it has been 22 degrees today in Sydney.
Yes, it was a beautiful day in Sydney, but it is quite dewy here. Certainly a lot of the players probably have some screw-ins at the moment, but or milder ones, but certainly need to change the screw-ins.
Matthews. Next, it was a test of strength with Mighty Mick. Finally it's forced over the line. There's Nick. Says he had me in a bear hug.
No, did all he had to do, Michael. Well, possibly I stand corrected there, but using every trick in his book, Mick.
He's a genius, mighty Mick. And Paul Kelly has left the field. That's a surprise. He's had 15 possessions, 11 kicks and 4 handballs, and he's taken 3 marks. He's been replaced by Kirk. Powerful kick by Sinclair. He's a thumping kick. And Kelly's gone straight onto the phone. Here's a chance for Kirk. He's come off the interchange bench into the pocket. O'Keefe from behind. Couldn't take it. Does well at ground level, sets it up. He was looking for Nix. Ty Kennelly was there as well. But Makepeace comes away for the Kangaroos. Tumbles the ball forward. He's looking for Blakey in front of Barry. For a toss back in. Maybe just a breather.
I would think so, KB. No, he's not getting any younger, Paul, and he's had a great start with 15 possessions. As we see Scotty Stevens on the bike, but more than likely just a quick break. Back on shortly.
Stevens has been a loss. He had 5 possessions very early in that first quarter, and he was given Mick Martin the runaround and also kicked a goal. But he did get crunched by Glenn Archer. Races on. King is quick. Bennett and Pickett work hard. King can set it up. Great handball. Rocker needs a bounce. Rocker kicks a goal. Three goals to Severio Rocker.
Yeah, he's off to a great start, Severio, but Jared Bennett unfortunately chose to go to ground there. Really needed to keep his feet there. Allowed David King to run on. Pick the ball up, quick hands out to Big Sav, and a much needed goal to the Kangaroos.
Spider tried to tickle the ball out of the pack. Putting his hands on the ball is King, a one-grab player. Good eyes, good hands, good vision. Simpson, hard worker. Burton is marked. The handball was meant for Stevens. It was too quick from the Spider. McPherson pumps the ball back towards the wing. O'Keefe beaten by the bounce, but not Williams. Looking for Kirk. He's been very handy since replacing Kelly. Short. Finds Seymour. He's given the forward line a bit of life, Kirk.
He has. Always works tremendously hard, but I'd just go back to Paul Williams. Could have quite easily just gone down the line, but held the kick up quite nicely. Brett Kirk ran into space, and a good option there. And Brad Seymour, that's why he's in the forward line, providing many an option.
And there was Spider, just missing his target there in Anthony Stevens. Seymour directly in front. He'll kick from right on 50, leans back, leaves nothing behind, and has nailed it.
There might be a runner getting off that Kangaroo bench very shortly and running out the Big Spider. Burton a little bit lackadaisy with his handball, as we see. Yes, you'd think from a senior player, a much better disposal, a much better effort from Spider Burton.
And there's McPherson just tumbling the ball forward, and this bounce came to Paul Williams, and he set it up beautifully here to Brad Seymour, who finished off with a goal. .5 minutes played in this second quarter, and that man on screen has just kicked a goal, and the Swans are within 5 points, 6-4-40. The Roos 7-3-45. Goods beaten by Burton. Bolton hard over the ball. King, another possession, taken away by Fixter. And finally over the line on the full. 8 possessions to David King. Shannon Grant, leading possession winner for the Kangaroos with 12, and Sinclair with 7. Blakey to Robbins, to King. Change of direction. It was a good tackle by Williams. Taken by Shawball. Kelly's got 15 possessions for the Swans, 11 to McPherson, Leo Barry's 10 and Creswell 10, and Paul Williams with 9, their leading possession winners. With just under 7 minutes to go in this second quarter, Saddington comes away from centre wing. It was a high ball looking for next. Bolton needs clean hands. Teague makes it a tough contest, and we've got a ball up 45 metres out from goal. Tiff?
Yeah, the Swans look like their bench looks to be in a little bit of trouble, as I said, with Stevens off. Crouch is limping a fair bit, and Fosdyke seems to be indicating to his calf. So possibly 3 players at the moment, not looking too good.
Well, we talk about fresh legs. Maybe not too many fresh legs for the Swans.
No, they've had a wretched run with injuries this year, as many sides have, but certainly they would like to see Jared Crouch come back on the ground, I'm sure.
Uncontested possessions, 88 to Sydney, to 63 to the Kangaroos. They did lose O'Loughlin, the Swans, prior to the game, replaced by Matthew Nicks. So more scoring power was lost, but they keep chipping away. King using his body. Plenty of dash inside 50. Morrell. Great jump. Well, he's a big man.
He's taken a couple of strong marks in front, but actually had to sit here. Just floated in nicely. Little right off Andrew Shawbull. Andrew Dunkley unfortunately couldn't get his arms out to spoil the ball, so good mark.
Good club to play for if you're key forward, I believe, the Kangaroos, because economical style of play. They kick the ball long to their key forwards.
And they do it very consistently.
So you can go for your marks. You know the ball's going to come in. It's not going to be zigzagged around the ground. Already Rocker's boot at 3. This man on screen is going for his 3rd goal as well. Digby Morrell is a good kick straight through the centre. The key forwards have got 6 between them.
And it would be fair to suggest that perhaps Digby Morrell mightn't have got the opportunities he's had so far this year if the situation, there's been so much said about it with regards to Wayne Carey leaving, but great to see a young person, a young player make the most of his opportunities. It really seems to be relishing his opportunity down forward.
Well, they had to make the decision a couple of weeks ago whether John Baird or Morrell went back to the rookie list. They decided to keep Morrell. Good decision. He's booted 3. And number 32 should be a happy man as well. He's playing on a good player in Andrew Shawbull, but the key forwards, marking options, are causing the Sydney Swans some concern. Simpson and Kelly, 2 great competitors. Chance for Colbert. Works hard in defence, keeps his eye on the ball. Kelly, he's had that breather to Kirk, to Williams. 3 sick players combined. This is a great kick, looking for Goods. Got him. Paul Williams is having another stellar season and a big night tonight. He's had 10 possessions, plenty of run from Williams, and it's very disconcerting for a side when Paul Williams is running with the ball, because he can carry it and he's such a penetrating kick. It opens up in space, taken by Nicks.
And you need those players that just have the ability, the finesse to be able to deliver the ball precisely and hit a leading target. And Paul Williams is probably one of the better ones, if not the best hand or foot deliverer at the club.
Well, this man got a rocket at the selection table, Matthew Nicks. He was axed on Thursday night. He's been given his chance coming in and replacing Michael O'Loughlin. He's already kicked a goal in the first quarter. So he's got his chance to kick goal number 2, and he's had 7 possessions. It's a tough angle, and he's just pushed it left.
Positive signs for Matthew Nicks, though, presenting himself. Mightn't always be getting the ball, but he'd be reasonably happy with how things are going at the moment.
Tony Elshaw alongside Dennis Pagan, Kangaroos Brains Trust. Mighty Mick to Makepeace. Comes away from half back. Simpson, strong mark overhead. Simpson
actually plays quite a lot taller than what he actually is.
He's a one-grab player, thumped away by Dunkley. Pounced on by Blakey, who's been very lively on the forward line. He's kicked a goal. The veteran takes him on. He's trying to make something out of nothing. Taken by Shawbull. Leo Barry, casual from the back pocket. Let's go down to Tiffany Cherry.
Lee Harding has just replaced their skipper again. Stevens has just come off. The doctor ran out to him about a minute ago to check his shoulder, and obviously that is not too good at the moment, so the Kangaroos are quite concerned.
No, it's a good call, Tiff. Anthony Stevens there, disconsolate on the bench. He's had a couple of attempts to come back on and do something, Wayne, but it does appear that injury could be a little bit worse than what was first thought when they brought him back into the action.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Grant was squeezed up on the boundary line, shared the ball along with Teague, who just pumps the ball wide. Seymour makes it a contest. It's a boundary throw-in. Well, Lee Harding actually coming on and off the bench. They brought him off the bench in the last quarter last week too, didn't they?
Yeah,
a good first quarter. I think he kicked 3 in the first quarter and 3 in the last quarter.
And he just seems to be one of those players that has the ability, mightn't be getting a lot of the ball, give him a rest, come back on and really lights the game up.
Impact player. Isn't that the latest buzzword?
Sounds good for me.
Speaking of the devil, there was Harding. Come off hands, Motlop. Well, it was his brother who gave away the free kick in round 4. And Daniel gets his chance tonight. And Anthony Stevens still chatting to the doctor. 8-3-51 the Kangaroos. They lead by 10 points. 6-5-41 the Swans. Swans led by 7 points at quarter time. Barry enjoying a good game. Caught. Just trying to do a bit too much. Run down by John Blakey. He's looking to find some form with the Kangaroos with a chance of playing in the finals. Digby Morrell stands tall. He is a big problem for Sydney up forward.
Yeah, causing quite a few headaches. Just happened to lose Andrew Shawble leading into the marking contest and was relatively unchecked. And is, you're right, KB, causing some major headaches.
Well, this man is growing in confidence. I reckon I saw his first game against Richmond at Colonial Stadium. He took a big grab that night. Didn't have much impact, I suppose, on the Kangaroos. He was a rookie list player, but he has grabbed his chance with both hands. He's generally a dead-eye dick. He's kicked 3-1 from 45 metres out, leans back, and has banged it straight through the centre. He's got 4. Well, if Wayne Carey had kicked 4-1 before half-time, we'd be saying he's a star.
Oh, you would.
But this boy's done well.
He's done extremely well. And the thing I've noticed about him the most is when he goes back for his shot at goal, he seems very relaxed and seems to do the same thing consistently every single time.
Well, a big grab coming across in front. And as I said before, when you're a key forward, they do pump the ball in along the Kangaroos, give you every opportunity to take a grab. 4 goals to Digby Morrell, 3 to Severio Rocker, so 7 goals to the 2 key forwards. John Blakey's kicked a goal coming off the bench, and Jess Sinclair, playing half-back, also came down the first quarter to kick a goal. Singles for the Sydney Swans to Seymour, Williams, Stevens, Nix and Bolton. I think we caught a glimpse before also on the interchange bench. There's Stevens, still off since the first quarter of Byron Pickett. I think he was sitting on the bench as well for the Kangaroos. Cochrane started on the bench. The centre half forward. Burton in front. Was a big pack of players. Harding pinched it. High ball. It was an awkward bounce. Harding followed up his own kick.
I don't think there's many sides. Actually, I'd go as far as saying they're the best front and square side in the competition. They've been that way for many, many years. They just do the simple things extremely well, North Kangaroos.
Byron Pickett with just the 4 possessions. Taking a breather. And we still caught Anthony Stevens on the bench there along with Porter as well. Cochrane. Actually an underrated player, Cochrane. He gets some big jobs from Dennis Pagan to shut down some good players. Wild handball taken by Motlop. Here's Harding, the danger man. Can kick a goal. He's got it. And that's what he's good at.
Absolutely. He doesn't have to get much of the ball to be able to provide some sort of spark for the Kangaroos. But I just thought there, Jason Saddington a little bit unlucky, I thought, not to be given a free kick for holding the man. But umpire didn't see it and a goal resulted.
Well, the Kangaroos by 22 points. Harding has kicked his first goal tonight. He has now kicked 27 goals for the season for that young man. Andrew Shawble also off for the Sydney Swans as the time clock ticks away. Under 30 seconds to go in this second term, and the Kangaroos have opened up the biggest break of the game. 22 points, 63 plays, 41. King has been good tonight. Sinclair has been great across half-back. He's a penetrating kick. Motlop all tied up by Saddington. They've got a ball up on 50. So the time clock ticking away as Shawble and Seymour on the interchange bench for the Swans. as the siren sounds for half-time. 10 goals, 63. The Kangaroos lead by 22 points. The Swans 6-5, 41. That man on screen, Paul Williams, has been a very good player tonight. Start of the third quarter at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Kangaroos lead by 22 points. I think we can expect the unexpected because these two sides have a habit of playing some close games. And we've only got to go back to round 4. It was an absolute thriller. King has been very good tonight. All the experienced players for the Kangaroos have really stood up, and Pickett went in very, very hard. And finally the ball is forced over for a boundary throw-in. So Byron was benched with only 4 possessions in that second quarter. He might be fired up.
Well, he's one of those players that doesn't have to get a lot of the ball, but just his mere body presence out there certainly makes the backline get a little bit nervous at times.
May have hurt himself then in that clash with Leo Barry, who stood his ground. Dunkley pinched this time by Simpson. High ball. Pickett couldn't take it. Robbins working hard in close, belted off the ground. That time by Kelly. Bennett can't trap it. So a boundary throw in hard up against the point post. So a chance for the Kangaroos. Kelly on screen. 18 possessions. The captain courageous tonight. Rocker does well. Williams to Matthews. So the Swans work the ball from half back inside the centre square. Bolton got forced under the ball, pounced on by Nix. High ball. Tough one to take. McPherson. Great smother off the boot. Teague with strength tries to break the tackle. Sinclair's tied up by Bolton, crunched into the ground. And it's a ball up just 25 metres out from goal. This is a wonderful smother. And guess who?
It's not surprising, is it?
Glenn Archer. He's a wonderful competitor. What a player he's been. Bolton to Fosdyke. Needs a kind bounce. Needs support. Bolton take 2 to Creswell. Can't bend it back enough. And marked by Burton. Big Spider. Probably enjoying his best ever season of AFL football. Another player who's been rejuvenated by Dennis Pagan. Teague. Good tackle by Bolton. Teague's still good enough to get the kick away. McPherson traps it on centre wing again, smothered off the boot. It's where the Kangaroos work so hard. King on the charge, he'll back himself in, gets good support from Harding, runs to 50, closes to 45, can't bend it back. Through for a minor score.
Just don't know if that was the correct option with David King. Lee Harding had actually made the effort to run 5 or so yards in front. Should have actually drawn the player handballed over. Maybe have been in a better position, but David King backed himself in. Unfortunately, point was the result.
Saw Dennis Pagan then muttering away. Might have been muttering the same thoughts. Saddington. Centre half back. Concedes ground. Just caught in 2 minds. And Brockman. This young man played a couple of games with Geelong. It's his chance tonight. Ty Canelli to McPherson. The run will come to Kirk. Gave a lot of spark when he came off the bench in the second quarter. This is a good kick. Been marked by O'Keefe, who kicked the goal on the quarter time siren. Put the Swans 7 points in front. This is a tough angle.
Very tough angle, but obviously Ryan O'Keefe thinks it's not that tough, KB, and certainly lining up for a set shot.
Well, he's a left footer.
Well, no, I won't put the moz on him.
You told me left footers never missed. Squeezed up on the boundary line. What a kick! That is a magnificent kick. He's kicked a goal.
That's fantastic, Ryan O'Keefe. You don't have to get the ball too many times if you put it straight through the middle, KB. Wonderful finish from what was a very acute angle.
Well, I didn't think he could kick it from there. You can see Kirk sets it up. It's a good mark in front of Teague. But you can see there, that's a very, very tough angle. And he's popped it through.
And the Swans are a much better side when they move the ball quite quickly. The Kangaroos do like the ball to come down nice and slow, that they can get numbers to the ball.
Well, he's kicked 2 goals.
The Swans much better when the ball moves quite quickly and fluently.
He's kicked 2 goals on a very tough opponent. I saw David Teague play on Stewie Dew at Port Adelaide a couple of weeks ago. We know Dew is a very good player. High up on the goal kicking, he had 1 possession for the game. King tried to paddle the ball along, looking for Cochrane. Pounced on by Morrell. He's booted 4. Rocker looks dangerous. Chance for Harding. Kick the goal, goes to ground. Kirk finds Bennett. Under pressure, the Swans from half back. And standing his ground was Digby Morrell. That was a strong mark. Wastes no time, kicks a high ball. Here comes Rocker. Couldn't take it. Spider does the roving. Bennett from that last line of defence just belts the ball wide. Colbert just measured the bounce. Rocker's aboard the mighty Mick, who knows only one thing: kick it long. Danger here now for the Swans. Just 15 metres out from the Kangaroos' goal. Kirk around the corner. Spider! Silly play there, and he gives it to Blake. He's under all sorts of problems. McPherson dives on the ball. He might get pinged. It's a ball up.
Brett Kirk would be breathing a huge sigh of relief there. Probably, well, definitely not the right option just to screw it around the corner. Had someone free, but probably should have played the percentages and gone towards the boundary line.
Well, why didn't Spider go back and kick that goal? King has been pulled down. Kelly doesn't like it. You can see there in the back, Kai Kennelly and Kelly. He was gang tackled. They don't like it. They know how to boo up here in Sydney.
They're very patriotic up here, KB. It's fair to say. And as most people know, there's quite a bit of rivalry between the two sides.
Yes, I suppose this is the last time that the Kangaroos are going to play a home game up in Sydney. It's a home game here tonight. Alan Aylett mentioned that tonight, along with mentioning also on Fox Footy that they're going to play very tough with Wayne Carey. They are the mother club. They control the strings, and they want the #1 draft pick. Plus extras, as King will shoot from 25 metres out. He's a good player. He has kicked a goal.
Yeah, he has the ability to do something special there, David King. Actually think that he probably realised he was going to get tackled and maybe milked it just a little bit. But the umpire can only call it as he sees it. David King, resulting goal.
Well, he's had 14 possessions, that man on screen, and he's kicked his first goal of the night. So the Kangaroos lead by 23 points, 70 plays, 47. (11-4) plays 7-5. One thing I noticed about David King in a couple of games I've seen the Kangaroos this year, plays very well after half-time. Not quite certain whether he revs himself up at half-time or he's just got that ability to lift himself, but a couple of games I've seen this year, particularly against Fremantle up at Manukaraval, he was just inspirational to the Kangaroos after half-time. He won them the game.
And he's one of those players that can definitely break open the lines and run through the lines and not afraid to kick a long-running goal.
The men in charge tonight. Fixter, under pressure, wobbles the ball back inside the centre square. Archer went hard, and so did Colbert.
Well, I think Glenn Archer did his best to get out of Lee Colbert's way there, but, unfortunately, as we quite acrobatic.
Cowboy.
Certainly don't hope that he goes off with a cork thigh like Scotty Stevens.
Just under 14 minutes left in this third term as Kirk goes for it. A poor kick. Sinclair. Been really impressed with Sinclair since he's moved to half-back. He was a very inconsistent player as a midfielder and wingman, but somehow he's just found some responsibility playing across half-back.
And I think playing off half-back, you actually take the pressure off, so to speak. You've just got an opponent to beat and then you can back yourself in.
Well, Shannon Grant probably hasn't enjoyed his best season, but he's back to form tonight. He's had 15 possessions. Norm Smith medalist is hot. Bennett, hard worker for the Swans. The Kirk. Been great since coming on. Ty Kennelly runs with the ball. Young man from Ireland looking for O'Keefe. He's got it. Well, he's proving a handful for David Teague. And he's a dead-eye Dick.
He just seems to have the ability, or tonight is working David Teague under the ball quite well. Just held his position, gentle hands in the back, quite an easy mark.
Going for his third goal, an important one for the Swans. 35 metres out, he has drilled it. And it's funny, Wayne, all of a sudden a player bobs up who's least expected, he's got 3.
Yeah, and look, I'd probably put that down to the fact that if your Barry Hall was playing, Ryan O'Keefe probably wouldn't be a focal point. He'd be more of a crummer. With Barry not out there, he's given him a lot more space, and he's given the freedom just to back himself in. And why not? 3 goals, great result.
Hope you're enjoying this uninterrupted match on Fox Footy, and don't forget such shows you can catch on Fox, such as the winners and league teams. 3 goals to Ryan O'Keefe. I don't think they've got a spot for Wayne Carey in this side.
I think they'll find one if they want to.
Got to get big, bad Barry bouncing, bustling, bruising Hall back into the side yet. O'Keefe strutting his stuff and doing it well. Robbins. They've dragged it back to a 17-point ball game, the Swans, and they'll keep on coming. Williams has been good tonight. He's been very good. Finds Bolton. Just get the feeling this game's going to go right down to the wire. And Williams runs hard. That could be 50. Did Cochrane hold him up long enough? I think he did.
That was terrific play. Terrific run by Paul Williams. Prepared to run through the lines. But take that back up to the middle of the ground on the outer wing. Brett Kirk just making a hell of a contest. Not allowing the Kangaroos players to get an easy possession. Got it out. Paul Williams followed up his kick. They certainly need this goal as well.
Well, he kicked the goal in the first quarter. I thought Cochrane was about to dump him. Williams may have let his feet go underneath him just to sort of make it a little bit worse than what it was.
It's roughly the same position. Darren Creswell had that famous shot there earlier this year, KB.
This would be a big kick. Poor Williams. From 40 metres out, leans back, bends the body, arches the body and kicks a point. Williams was running back. He thought he kicked that goal. He had me fooled. A shake of the head. He watched it all the way. He was on a 45-degree angle with his body when it went through. Kangas by 16 points. Mighty Mick. Most people thought he was gone at the end of last year. He's had a good season. Creswell made it a contest. Caught high is Kirk. He's had it 12 times since coming off the bench. He's had a lot of spark. Fosdyke rockets the ball to McPherson. That was sneaky play. Big kick. Right to the line. O'Keefe looks dangerous. The big fist of Martin puts it through for a behind.
Yeah, Brett Kirk's the player that's providing the spark for the Swans, winning the hard contests.
Now, let's have a look here at poor Williams. We might be able to see him have this kick now. He thought this was a goal. Now, we've got a good angle of this. That's a very good kick.
It's a fair argument there.
He thought he kicked that. But the umpire is always in the right spot. Colbert from half-back. Not a lot of possessions tonight for Lee Colbert. Penetrating kick, Spider playing in front. Couldn't take it. Creswell finds Goods, kicks a high ball. It's one for the Brave. Colbert thumps the ball away. Pounced on again by Kirk. He's a jack in the box. He's a Mr. Fix-It tonight. Canali to Williams. The run comes. Canali, edge of the centre square. Bouncing. Kelly might kick this. He does! Kelly's kicked a goal! Swans alive! Poor Kelly has grabbed a goal, and all of a sudden the Swans are back in this game.
And again, it's just purely and simply a result of the Swans being able to bring the ball in nice and quickly, kick it to space. There wasn't really an option there, but put it to the front of the square. And unfortunately, David Teague, when you're on the last line defence, you've got to make sure you punch that ball through with conviction.
Well, it was a goal, but just watching it on replay, I think Teague might have been caught high, and he looked at the umpire, expecting a free kick, but it wasn't paid. So the Swans drag it back to a 9-point ball game, and the chant goes round the SCG. Simpson works hard. Morrell is booted for. He's the danger man up forward. Colbert's in the square. This is a big kick, going right to the line. Through for behind. 4 goals, 2 to Morrell.
He's continuing on from what was a great first half, and that was a thumping kick from outside 55.
There's the man on screen. He's booted 4. Severio Rocca's got 3. And for Sydney, Ryan O'Keefe has booted 3 goals, including 2 goals in this third term. Bolton says, give me 50. And he's got it. Swans are fired up. You mentioned before, Wayne, that maybe there's no love lost between these two sides.
Oh no, there's quite a tradition with these two sides, and you wouldn't expect it any other way.
Well, the Swans didn't like the fact that maybe the Kangaroos were trying to grab some of their territory by playing home games in Sydney. This is their last one tonight. They've given that venture away. And Morrell, I'd pay the mark.
They do it up forward, he's pushing down back and doing it down there as well.
Well, pushing back, getting numbers. Archer goes wide, looking for Rocca. He's playing out on the wing at the moment. Finds Teague. Good tackle by Bennett. Does well, laying on his back. Finds Kirk, who's been an absolute star in this game. Kirk, it's a poor handball. Colbert breaks the tackle, pumps the ball long. Porter looks dangerous from behind with the big fist. They need a crummer. Matthews will hit it hard, tries to tickle the ball up. Morrell over the top. Gives away the free kick. 8.5 minutes left in this third quarter. 11-5, 71 the Kangaroos. The Swans, 9-7, 61. McPherson can't trap it. It was a desperate attempt. Brad Seymour is also back for the Swans. Started the game at full forward. Here's a high tackle. It's a boundary throw in on centre wing. Kangaroos by 9 points. Archer straight away has gone to Seymour. That's the way the game started. Porter with quick hands. Simpson continues to win the ball. Pumps the ball inside 50. Morrell was playing in front. Strong hands. It's amazing how this young man has just developed so quickly.
Yeah, look, it's just a quality mark, but Jared Bennett in the back position, when you're a backman, you've got to do that disciplined thing. You've got to make sure that you either spoil the ball or take the arms, and I'm sure Paul Roos wouldn't be too happy with that.
Kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, 2 goals in the second quarter. He's also kicked 2 behinds. He's taken 6 marks and he's had 10 possessions, so it's been a big night for this young man. Recruited from West Perth, right on 50. He's a big kick. He's a very big kick. He's got 5.
That's all you can ask from your forwards, is that when the side's up the ground, actually working extremely hard to provide the opportunities. When a forward gets a shot at goal, all you can ask is they kick truly. Digby Morrell, 5 goals. Terrific.
Well, I would think that's a career best for Morrell. He's now kicked 20 goals for the season. And he has undoubtedly been the danger man up forward that the Swans have not been able to stop. Kangaroos answering the challenge. Just under 8 minutes left in this third quarter. They lead by 16 points, 12-5. Players 9-7. And Porter comes charging in, playing with a fair bit of vigour, giving Spider Burton a bit of a breather. Rocca at ground level, works hard. Rawlings kicks a high ball. Look out, here's Morrell. Couldn't take it. The big fist away came from Bennett. Simpson gets great support from Mighty Mick, stands and delivers a high ball. One for the high flyers. Pickett hit the pack hard. Grant. It's kicked a goal. That's the thrill of the grass. He's been fantastic tonight.
He has. He's run himself into some great form, Shannon Grant. But again, the lack of talk from the Sydney defenders there. Too many flyers. No one staying down. You can't really blame Brett Kirk there. Should have been some more talk from the Swans players. One up. couple down, make a much better effort.
Well, all of a sudden, the scoreboard is out to 22 points, which was the margin at half-time. Shannon Grant, leading possession winner for the Kangaroos. 18 possessions and 6 marks. He's kicked 1 goal too. And Porter making a real contest at centre bounces. Oh, good mark by Barry, running with the flight. Been one of the Swans' best tonight, up and running. Inside 50, looking for Kelly. Stands on 50, great vision. Finds Fixter, runs into the open goal. He's got it.
Just the goal the Swans were after.
Quick reply.
It's fantastic. You've got to answer quite quickly when the side seems to get a bit of momentum, that it's important that you register a goal quite quickly. But Leo Barry just relishing the opportunity there, backing himself in, taking them on. Had a very quiet game last week, but as you said, KB, one of the better Swans players tonight. Paul Kelly, never quite sure what he's going to do. Certainly provides a lot of entertainment. Benny Fixter, a great finish. Just reward for running down the ground.
Yes, a young man from Wagga. And just when you think the Kangaroos might skip away, they hit back. Paul Roos and Dennis Carroll, one of the greats of Sydney. Of course, Paul Roos, fantastic career at Fitzroy and also with Sydney as well. What's the odds that Paul Roos will be the coach next year?
Well, I think as every week goes by, KB, the odds are shortening, and I think, admittedly, the results haven't definitely gone Paul's way on the scoreboard, but I think he's done a terrific job so far.
He seems pretty cool, calm and collected.
Yeah, that's just the demeanour of the person.
Matthews bangs the ball back. Running with the fly of the ball was Martin. He's beaten this time by O'Keefe, has been a danger man. He's booted 3. It's a great kick. Squeezed up on the boundary line is Jude Bolton. Centering kick, opens it up. Kirk runs in and kicks a goal. Swans are within 10 points. Well, we've seen guys come off the interchange bench and play well, but Kirk, the moment he came off the interchange bench to replace Paul Kelly in that first quarter, started winning the ball at will. He's had it 15 times.
You know, it's amazing, KB, that when players are actually playing for their future, they generally find something. Brett Kirk has been in and out of the side over the last few weeks, given the opportunity, and Brett Kirk, great rewards for someone that works tremendously hard on and off the football field. Well,
only the man who replaced Paul Kelly has had more possessions for the Sydney Swans. He's had 20. Kirk's now had 15. 13-5, 83 the Roos. The Swans 11-7, 73. They are within 10 points. Bolton's off. Shawball on for the Swans. Goods in the ruck. Porter, like his game tonight, he's really contested strongly. Speak of the devil. Kick inside 50. Seymour paddles the ball towards the line. Well, Brad Seymour started virtually at full forward, being picked up by Glenn Archer. Now he's playing virtually at full back. Jude Bolton with the blood rule, and we still see Scott Stevens there for the Sydney Swans. Doesn't look like he's going to take any more game time. He was terrific for the Swans in that first 15 minutes, but injured his leg. Goods comes away. Was there a shove out? Taken away by Nix. No free kick. Chance for the Swans. They look very dangerous. Kelly has been superb. And Fosdyke finds Fixter. Well, O'Keefe's booted 3 goals. Fixter's kicked a goal in this third term. 2 unlikely goal kickers.
Yeah, and that's what you really need when you don't have a focal point such as Barry Hall playing. But again, the value of getting the ball in quickly, your forwards in front, and Paul Kelly, you wouldn't expect him to play it any other way, but just attacking the ball ferociously.
This is the best I've seen Paul Kelly look for maybe 18 months.
Well, look, I think a lot of it's got to do with the fact that his body's feeling quite good at the moment. It gets back to looking after the injuries as you get a bit older. As we see Benny Fixter kick truly, and another good goal for the Swans.
They are now within 4 points. Tiffany?
Yeah, Drew Bolton came off with a blood rule. He's just been patched up, and they're very keen to get him back on. So you just watch for Andrew Shawball coming back on.
Thanks for that. And this man, Paul Kelly, Captain Courageous. Brownlow medalist, All-Australian, best and fairest winner, and that was set up by Fosdyke. So 4 goals in this third term have come to Ryan O'Keefe and Ben Fixter. I don't think Dennis Pagan would have been banking on that at half-time. They are now within 4 points, 12-7-79. They trail the Kangaroos 13-5, 83. And just under 5 minutes left in this third term. At quarter time, Sydney led by 7 points, but they trailed by 22 points at half-time. Now within 4. Tough in close and a free kick.
There's that man again, Brett Kirk, in and under, doing all the hard work.
Well, this is the greatest game he's ever played. Although we must say he did kick 3 goals against Hawthorn in the final last year as one of their better players.
I think this, for Brett Kirk's career, is the most important game.
Goods made it a contest. Simpson to Pickett. Takes him on. Byron Pickett runs to 50. Byron Pickett closes to 45. Dynamic lethargy, appearing to do nothing but doing everything. Pickett kicks a goal.
The good players have the ability to create something out of nothing, and Byron Pickett, there's nothing more exciting than watching a player that backed himself in, takes on the opposition, carries the ball and kicks truly.
Well, he's had a quiet night. He has been on the bench. He's had little impact until now. Byron Pickett has kicked 31 goals for the season, and a badly needed one for the Kangaroos. Swans, desperate to defend. They've worked hard in this third term. This has been a great game, a great contest. Straight to the boundary line. So it's take 2. Ty Kennelly on screen, one of the great success stories. Coming across from Ireland. Playing a foreign game, he's done it well.
In a very short period of time too.
He's quick. Looks like he's going to be around for a long time. Rocker feeds the ball off. Simpson just continues to win the ball. Just works hard all the time. Gets to every contest. Danger man. Morell's going for goal. Number 6. It's missed.
Well, you'd probably be a little bit disappointed if you're a Digby Morell there. Did extremely well. Just pushed Jason Saddington out of the contest. Kept his feet. Probably had a little bit more time than what he thought he did. Could have straightened up. Put another goal through the middle for himself and his side.
Simpson taking a breather as well on the phone. He's had it 19 times, along with Shannon Grant. He's been the leading possession winner. And he was replaced by Cochrane. Kelly in the back pocket.
I think Stewie Cochrane's gone straight on to Brett Kirk, Adam Simpson's direct opponent.
Well, I don't know whether Brett Kirk's ever been picked up by a tagger before, but he's been hot tonight. Goods. Still plenty of bounce in the legs. Time clock ticking away for the Swans in this third term. Under 30 seconds left. Sinclair on the stretch. Well, he's growing in stature, this young man. Always had big raps. From that early game he played with Fremantle when he poleaxed John Worsfold. All of a sudden people stood up and took notice of this young man. But he gets his second chance with the Kangaroos and doing well across half back. Thumped away by Adam Goods. We've got a tight one here at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and you get the feeling that this is going to go right down to the wire. 90 plays, 79. It's an 11-point ball game. Kangaroos 14-6-90. Sydney 12-7-79. Start of the last term at the Sydney Cricket Ground. It's a big game, particularly for the Kangaroos. They're in 7th spot on the ladder. They want to play in the finals. They missed out last year. For Sydney, they're playing for pride and probably for their coach Paul Roos as well. And we've only got to hark back to round 4 when they won with the last kick of the night by Darren Creswell. That these two sides can produce a nail-biter. Darren Morris, Shane McInerney and Darren Goldsby in charge in this final quarter. Kennelly picked up by Rawlings, pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Colbert has got Seymour to beat. He's a strong tackler. And Matthews heads straight to the boundary line. for a toss back in.
Just looks a lot more at ease and a lot more comfortable, Brad Seymour, when he's down in the back line.
Well, he's been a defender for so long, hasn't he? But as you say, they put him up forward to maybe give a bit of bite and play it on Glenn Archer. Two tough nuts. Kelly has been terrific tonight. Harding had it and lost it. Kelly continues to work hard. Blakey was caught. All tied up. We've got a ball up, still 60 metres out from goal. McPherson sits on the bench, just pondering. Pondering inactivity. Bennett, pinched that time by Cochrane. Just shoveled the ball out. Canali is quick. He loves the run of the ball. This young man is growing in stature. Pumps the ball down. It's a great kick. Fixter! Well, Fixter and O'Keefe, we have been speaking about these two lookalikes. They've kicked 5 goals between them. And what an important kick. The start of this final quarter. And isn't it great to see this young man running with the ball? Good kicking skills.
And looks as though he's been playing the game for many, many years, Ty Canali, but a terrific kick, backed himself in and took the opponents on.
Fixter from 35 metres out, directly in front. Hammers it home. What a start for the Swans in this last quarter.
Yes, exactly the start that they would have been after. But another person or another player, Benny Fixter, known more as a backman and relishing the opportunity to be playing up in forward. But again, just the value of a long kick directly into the forward line, plenty of space. The importance of the forward being in front of his opponent. And just the tonic the Swans were after.
The Swans are within 5 points. 14-6 plays, 13-7. 3 goals to O'Keefe, 3 to Fixter. And singles to Seymour, Williams, Kelly, Stevens, Nix, Bolton and Kirk. And for the Kangaroos, 5 to Morrell, 3 to Rocker. Singles to Grant, Sinclair, Blakey, Pickett, King and Harding. Williams, so good tonight. Cochrane has got the job on Kirk now. Porter works hard on hands and knees, shoveled out that time by Robbins, taken away by Makepeace. Kangaroos on the charge. Morrell, the danger man, couldn't take it on the second, third grab. Barry wants a free. He'll get a ball up. Well, that was most unusual for Morrell to drop that mark. He's been so strong overhead tonight. Inside 50. Kangaroos by 5 points. Kelly leading from the front. The danger man, Williams. Penetrating kick. Here comes Goods out in front. Couldn't take it. Had it spent. Forced back over the line for a toss back in. Looked like he wanted to take it.
I think something
that off.
Might have had a little bit to do with the chap wearing number 11 bearing down quite quickly.
Looked like he wanted to take it in his hands and then turn quickly to his left, but he just didn't get his timing right. And of course, Archer around. It's always unpleasant. Makepeace. Good hands. Well picked up. Robbins under pressure, hits a target. Grant has worked hard. Pickett thumped away that time by Matthews. Been pinched by Canali. Very lively. Start of this last quarter. Bolton, fresh legs, just come off the bench. Stands and delivers. Weighs up the options. Williams the target in front. He was pulled off the ball. There's no free kick. Simpson got away with it. Sinclair sidesteps, sidetracks, and then belts the ball back. Bolton hits the ball hard. Morrell made it a contest. Kelly came through hard, kept his body in line. Robbins goes to ground. Always numbers for the Kangaroos around the ball. That's a fresh air shot. This game has gone up a cog. Taken away by Robbins. Upended by Kirk around the corner. Needs a lucky bounce. Goods try to work his way to the front. Taken away that time by Porter. Does well. Sinclair can set it up through the centre square. Is a penetrating kick. It was a look-away kick. He was looking for Rocker. Good grab. And a good kick.
It was a terrific kick from Jess Sinclair. A little bit unsure towards the middle of the ground as to what to do. Had Mick Martin on the outer side, could have led out to the handball, but chose to kick to Sav Rucker's advantage. Did extremely well to hold Andrew Dunkley out in a relatively safe chest mark.
He's kicked 3, 1 in the first quarter and 2 goals in the second term. 8 goals between Rocker and Morrell. Can they make it 9? Kangaroos by 5 points from right on 50. Distance, not a worry for Severio Rocker. You can tell by the roar of the crowd he's missed. They lead by 1 straight kick.
Adam Goods getting a message from Paul Roos. I would think that it'd be safe to say not committed 100% to that last contest, Adam.
Matthews to bring the ball back into play. Porter, the big fist away, and a strong grab taken by Dunkley. What a great mark is for his size. Kirk continues to run hard. He's been the playmaker tonight. Saddington, great kick. Finds Nix, who came to the side to replace Michael O'Loughlin. Kicked the goal in the first quarter. Has been handy from 50. Takes him on. Bangs it through. Scores a level. 2 goals to Matthew Nix. Can this be a replay of round 4?
Well, it's certainly shaping up that way, KB. But just noticing the North Melbourne players, Kangaroo players, much prefer the ball to come in nice and slow so they can get numbers to the contest. Sydney Swans are just creating havoc. Players prepared to run into space to create space. Goal square vacant. Matty Nix was dropped early in the week. 2 goals. Well done.
Well, this is a danger time now for the Kangaroos. Dennis Pagan, Tony Elshaw, the Brains Trust look on. They're in 7th spot on the ladder. It's very tight. Those last 4 spots in the top 8. There's about 6 sides vying for it. And the Kangaroos now have to answer the challenge. Scores a level. Williams around the corner looking for Bolton. Plenty of bounce in the legs. Gets the run. Creswell, the danger man, the Williams, who runs hard on 50, centering kick. Danger time now for the Kangaroos. Kirk nearly took it. Mighty Mick heads for the line. The race is on. It can be trapped. O'Keefe, he's booted 3. Rockets the handball long, finds Kirk. It's a double take back to Leo Barry. High ball. Poor kick. Taken by Robbins.
You should know though, KB, if your teammate is nudged right up against the boundary, he'll do the team thing you'd think and centre the ball.
Yes, and Kirk nearly held that mark in the goal square as well. McPherson's got a fist away. Williams so desperate at the contest. Matthews, they've got numbers. They're loose. Barry, again a poor kick. Robbins again will mark. So twice now held up by Ben Robbins. Grant to Rawlings, comes away from half back, kicks to space. Swan's got the numbers, building the wall. This is Matthews. Got plenty of options. And picks out Robbins. That's 3 in a row. He's got red hair. He's number 30. He's in blue and white, not red and white. Pickett kicked a big goal in the 3rd term. Into the back of Robbins. Great play. That came from Fosdyke. Finds O'Keefe. Well, he fancies his chances. Now this handball hits Robbins fair and square in the back. Well, he may be an accidental hero, O'Keefe. He's going for goal number 4. He's missed, but the Swans are in front by a point.
Just seem to be running the Kangaroos players off their legs. The Kangaroos players look a bit tired from mine at the moment, KB.
Plenty of bounce. Ty Kennelly's got pace, so's Jude Bolton, so's Kirk. Makepeace trying to set it up from fullback. Dangerous kick. Taken away by Williams. Runs in the goal. He's missed. He has missed. An absolute sitter. That would have been a team lifting goal. Now a bit of disappointment.
Yes, Paul Williams, unfortunately. Great awareness, actually, to read the kick in there, and should have rewarded himself with a 6 point.
King, take 2, another bad kick in. Williams forced the contest, take 2 from 45 metres out. Williams kicks the goal. has been a star. He's got 2 goals. He's had it 20 times. And he is killing the Kangaroos.
Great pressure, Paul Williams. Disciplined thing, spoiled, kept himself in the contest. And I'm sure that was just a replay of what happened just before, KB.
There's Williams. He forced the spoil, then kicked the goal. Swans back in front. They go up as 1, 15-9, 99. They lead by 8 points. Kangaroos are 14-7, 91. They trail by 11 points at the last break. It's been a 19-point turnaround. And out of the centre square, they are killing the Kangaroos. McPherson to Creswell. Side tracks. Needed an option. Fosdyke from behind. Couldn't take it. Kelly hits the ball hard. O'Keefe desperate at the pack. Williams, quick snap, he's got it! Williams has got 3. He's tearing the Kangaroos apart.
Well, when you're hot, you're hot. But the Sydney Swans, down by a few points at three-quarter time, and really needed someone to step up. Paul Williams come to the plate.
Well, they now lead by 14 points. It was 11 points at three-quarter time. So that's a 25-point turnaround. And we've only played just over 12 minutes in this last quarter.
And it's so crucial on a small ground as the SCG is. First use of the ball out of the centre square.
Well, they've killed the Kangaroos in the centre square. 6 disposals in the last 10 minutes for that man on screen. He's had a fantastic season. He'll be certainly pressing for All-Australian. Best and fairest winner last year for the Swans. He's been a mighty pickup. It's a high ball. It's one for the Brave. Someone has to take the VC. Canali didn't really hit a target. Simpson tried to crash his way through. And Kirk, the tackler.
The Swans seem to be beating the Kangaroos at what they were doing quite well in the first 3 quarters, was numbers in and around the contest. First in, first use of the ball.
Well, it's been a sluggish 13 minutes of this final term for the Kangaroos. They just haven't been able to get their hands on the ball. But all loose balls, the Swans have just pounced on it. Kelly, this is a poor kick. It suits Mighty Mick. Sinclair, they are under siege in the back line. Even Archer has to hurry his kick. Creswell, the man for the moment, pumps the ball in. This is a wonderful kick and finds Bolton. O'Keefe wants it at the front of the goal square. It was a bit tough for Bolton. Even though O'Keefe could see Bolton, Bolton couldn't really see O'Keefe. Here's a right footer. And it does swing in right to left from this angle. They lead by 14 points. They've got a good shot. Bolton. They lead by 20 points. Swans are killing the Kangaroos in this last term.
So an avalanche at the moment with the Sydney Swans certainly playing with their tails up. The Kangaroos players look tired, they're stationary, they're more focused on their direct opponent rather than when they've got the opportunity to get the ball, attacking the ball. And unfortunately, they certainly need to do something very quickly to arrest the situation.
Well, there's Bolton. This is another great kick. Very acute angle, straight through the centre.
This is where you need your captain, Anthony Stevens, back on there if you're a Kangaroos player.
Well, we just have to add Anthony Stevens off with a bad shoulder injury. The Swans, in the first 15 minutes of this last quarter, have booted 5 goals to 1 point to the Kangaroos. They've turned 11-point deficit into a 20-point lead. Such an important game for the Kangaroos. The top 8, the last 4 positions are so tight. There's Petrie on the bench. Maybe just waiting for his chance. This is where they've been terrific. At these scrimmages, somehow, they just keep on winning the ball, the Sydney Swans.
Would you consider clearing out the Kangaroos forward line and putting Lee Harding one-on-one with his direct opponent in the goal square, just allowing him that 50-metre arc to work in, pushing players back?
Well, he's kicked the 1 goal. He hasn't had a lot of time and he hasn't had a lot of the ball. I suppose their key forwards have kicked 8 goals. virtually winning the game for him in the first 3 quarters. O'Keefe, as this man stood up tonight, very impressive. In front is Nix, has the ball thumped away. Creswell, always the man for the moment. Fosdyke, quick snap, off target, through for a behind. Tiffany.
It looks like Adam Goods has paid his penance for that mistake before, and he was benched. Looks like he's about to come back on. Swans desperate for some fresh legs.
Well, handy player. We know how mobile he is, Adam Goods. Makepeace goes wide, finds Sinclair. They need to spark the Kangaroos. They need a goal. They need the spirits lifted. Maybe King can provide it. Can take him on. He's going to back himself in against Brockman. Runs to the half-forward line. Penetrating kick. Oh! Leo Barry! Leaping Leo!
It's got to be a contender, KB.
Leaping Leo up over the top. What a grab. And what a game he's played tonight. Kelly pushes off Pickett. Don't argue. He was off. Good enough to get the handball away. Kelly looks a little bit tired. McPherson tumbles the ball back. O'Keefe, great hands in front. Hits the ball hard. The run comes from Matthews. Plenty of spring in the step. Ty Canelli, he can go short. Nix has got it. Well, this is an avalanche. They are running in numbers. There's a wave of players coming down the ground. They have got plenty of power, plenty of energy left, the Sydney Swans. And look at this for a grab. Super mark. And from another angle, you can see there the elevation of Leo Barry. And Matthew Nix pushes it left. So a sigh from Swan supporters. Just the one behind to the Kangaroos in this all-important last quarter. And 5 goals for to the Swans. They lead 17-11, 113 to 14-7, 91. Martin runs into trouble. Nix can set it up. And Bolton will miss. He's hit the post.
Great pressure from the Sydney Swans, but I'm just not too sure with Troy Makepeace. They're quite a fair way down now. Rather than play on, kick yourself, let's just go long, straight down the middle. The quickest way home is the shortest way home, KB.
Well, they've hardly had the ball inside 50 in this last quarter. Only once. They kicked it behind. Mighty Mick trying to rally the troops. Go long and high. He was looking for Severio Rocket. Pickett from inside the centre square to Robbins. Sets it up. Archer. He wants to go short. He wanted to go short. It was good marking of the mark. He had a loose player wide. They need a goal, the Kangaroos. Archer. He's a long way out. He's on 50. Way off target. Out of bounds on the full. Bennett. And there's 6.5 minutes left in this final quarter. Kangaroos 10-8 coming into this game in 7th spot. Sydney Swans just 5.5 wins for the season. Those 12 losses in 13th place. This would be a big win, but it would be a big blow for the Kangaroos. Creswell on the charge. O'Keefe. Great mark by Makepeace. He was brave. Goes wide. They need goals quickly. Motlop has to get around McPherson. Chasing in the tackling's been superb by the Sydney Swans. Morrell has got to be the target up forward. And Seymour heads towards the boundary line. Stays alive, Williams. Well, he has been great. They just haven't been able to match poor Williams tonight. His ball handling, his speed, his ability to run the lines has been superb. And Kelly crashes into the fence. Has he got it? He has. Well, he's had a great game, poor Kelly. He's had 26 possessions. He's kicked a goal. He's taken 5 marks. And he's led from the front.
He has. He's had a fantastic captain's game and would cap it off extremely well if he can slot this one through.
Swans by 23 points. He has kicked a miracle goal. Paul Kelly has slotted it through.
He puts in an extremely long amount of time after training over in that pocket. Actually calls it Kelly's corner. Rates himself very highly. And look, straight through the middle. Was it ever in doubt?
Well, it was a great mark. And it was a great goal. I wish he had a time it was Kelly's corner. I would have called him as kicking it before he actually slotted it through. Well, he's booted 2 goals tonight. Bolton's off and Goods is on. 1 in the 3rd quarter. And what a great goal. And poor Rouge would be very proud. They have kicked 6 goals in this last quarter. And the Kangaroos are goalless. And Williams continues to dominate. Kelly thought he might have got a free kick. O'Keefe gives it across to Creswell. They've got another goal. 7 goals in this final term to the Sydney Swans.
And worrying signs for Dennis Pagan, no doubt. The Kangaroos players look quite dejected, and rightly so. They need to make sure that they just play one-on-one football for the rest of the remaining part of the quarter. The game's gone now, but they do have to fight it out because they do have 3 weeks to go before the finals.
Poor Williams has been unstoppable. Creswell continues to always work hard. He's had it 19 times. So's Leo Barry, 19. Matthews, 19. 21 to Kirk. Came off the bench, has been a star. Williams has been great all night with 24 and 3 goals. And Kelly with 27 and 2 goals. They can't stop this avalanche. King bumps the ball inside 50. They've given away the free kick. Rocker kicks a goal. I thought a free kick was there, it wasn't paid.
Yeah, we saw another incident earlier on in the game where David Teague unfortunately didn't spoil the ball through the goal square. Probably say Andrew Dunkley, unfortunately, is a little bit guilty of that, but probably warranted, or thought it warranted, a free kick.
Well, he's kicked 4 goals, Severio, and his partner in crime, Digby Morrell, has booted 5, so 9 goals from the key forwards. But it's been out of the centre bounce in this last quarter. The midfielders, the run across half-back, they just haven't got the ball inside 50 for Morrell or for Rocker to be a danger. Makepeace goes short and wide. Seymour made it a strong contest. Motlop on centre wing, under 5 minutes left. Concedes ground, backtracks, gives it across to Teague, hammers the ball back, big pack of players. Kirk, the game of his life tonight. Taken away by Matthews, a great kick. Where's this bloke been? Ryan O'Keefe, has he stood up? Superb kick, looking for Kelly. Punched away by Archer. Ryan O'Keefe and also Ben Fixter. 6 goals between them tonight. Unsung heroes for the Sydney Swans. Come into the game, but they'll be heroes tonight. They played a major part in the Sydney Swans, particularly in that 3rd term when they kicked 4 goals between them and the Swans had to get back in the game. Here's O'Keefe. This can bounce through. This can bounce through. This has bounced through. Whether he's kicked 4 goals before in a game, but I doubt it.
No, not at this level, but Ryan O'Keefe works extremely hard. Again, another player that's probably been a bit up and down this year, but given the opportunity and relishing some space in the forward line. And unfortunately, the Kangaroos are having great difficulty stopping the flow at the moment.
Well, coming into this game, Ryan O'Keefe had kicked 4 goals for the season. He's now booted 4 goals tonight, so he's doubled his tally. He had just 11 goals in his career in his 23 games, so it's been a stellar night for Ryan O'Keefe. Seymour, tough in close. It's been an 8-goal last quarter to 1 for the Sydney Swans. As Creswell pumps the ball back, Kelly, he's just too good. He has turned back the clock tonight, Paul Kelly. He's strong at the ball, he's taking marks, he's kicking goals, he's got second and third efforts, he's got his pace back.
And he's certainly enjoying his football. They're just starting to run the lines. There's a lot of space opening up now.
Now, you mentioned before when he kicked his last goal from the opposite pocket that was Kelly's corner. Does he ever practice from this pocket?
Not as much. Then he's probably about to make me a liar.
Well, he'll be kicking from right on 50. Paul Kelly leans back, unloads and kicks another goal. Raises the arms in triumph. And the great man has kicked 3.
And just looking at that, KB, there's a lot of emotion out there, not only for Paul Kelly, but it's been a very, very disappointing year for this club. Tremendous amount of spirit shown by the players, and rightly so, and enjoying what will be a fantastic win for the club.
Well, I think that Paul Roos will feel pretty safe in his job after tonight. Paul Kelly's booted 3 goals. Back in round 18 last year, they got absolutely thumped, the Kangaroos, by 107 points. Only kicked 3 goals for the night. Dennis Pagan said it was one of the worst performances by the Kangaroos. The margin's not as big tonight, but I think the disappointment will be just as great. Paul Williams has just destroyed, absolutely destroyed the Kangaroos. The roar goes around the ground. He's got 4 goals. He's kicked 3 of them in this last quarter. But that only tells half the story of his performance tonight. He is hot. He is red hot tonight, Paul Kelly. And I reckon he'll win the best and fairest again for the 2nd year straight. He's been great.
He'll certainly give it a good shake. But I think, KB, getting back to Dennis Pagan, the loss last year, in the context of what they're playing for this year, this will be a significant loss for the Kangaroos.
This has been a 10-goal quarter for the Sydney Swans. They led by 7 points at quarter time. They trailed by 22 points at half time and trailed by 11 points at 3/4 time. They now lead by 47 points. It's a 58-point turnaround. If you take it from half time, this has been a sorry performance by the Kangaroos. Just 2 minutes left. Kelly. Correction Williams. To Seymour. To Staddington. He'll find Bolton. Confidence growing for this young man. Great kick. Well, the ball has to come back. You mentioned before, Wayne, that some players might have been playing for their, not only the season, but for their careers. Well, a lot of them stood up tonight. O'Keefe went the big fly. Thought he may have given away the free kick. Grant battled so hard. He's been their leading possession winner 22 times and 6 marks. But in this last quarter, the midfield has just been completely overrun. It'll be the disappointment for the Kangaroos. They just haven't been able to win the ball to get it inside 50. The back line has been under siege. Sinclair to Simpson. It was a tight-looking kick. Big pack of players. Cochrane. Williams the tackler. It's a game for the highlights reel, no doubt, for Paul Williams. And fixed up. He's booted 3 goals. He's on 50. Expect the unexpected. O'Keefe. Taken by Bolton. Feeds it off. Taken by Teague in the last line of defence. Time clock ticking away. 30 seconds left. Not a big crowd, but a huge roar will go around the Sydney Cricket Ground. This has been a mighty win by the Swans. They've capped it off with a 10-goal last quarter. To Kirk. His best ever game. Free kick to Fosdyke, not paid. Motlop, don't argue, pushes off Seymour. Goes short. Saddington seconds left in the game. And a pat on the back for the coach, and a mighty roar at the SCG. Hard-fought game to three-quarter time, and then blown apart in the last quarter. 10 goals to the Swans, 22 goals, 12, 144. They've won by 47 points, 15-7, 97. 1 goal to the Kangaroos in the all-important last quarter, 10 goals to the Sydney Swans. That man on screen booted 4 goals, Ryan O'Keefe. And the Sydney Swans clapping and cheering. It's been a big win. Not often you have a 10-goal last quarter. That man was significant in a mighty win.